What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode video. Today we're in Brazil. It's Sao Paulo and those clouds are looking pretty dark, similar to the real life race that we've just seen this last weekend. So we're going to get straight into the sprint qualifying. This is SQ1, and because it's a sprint weekend and I didn't want this video to last approximately 3 years, I've basically taken the best laps, or the final laps, from every qualifying session. So SQ1, we were still getting used to the car, the setup, the track, finding our brake references, and yeah, trying to maximise what we can from the car. Pretty good sector 1 so far. You can hear the tyres squealing as we take it through turn 4. I think that's turn 4. Yes, it is. 1.5 tenths up as we go through the fast double right-hander here. Bit tricky. It can catch you off guard, especially the rear end of the car. So we lock up massively just there into the slower sector 2 of this circuit. We're picking up time everywhere. These must be some newer mediums that we have. Oh, I'm pretty sure we only have one set, so we're just doing a bit better in terms of performance for this lap. Almost half a second up as we go into the last sector now, out of the final corner. And these corners just coming here, not really corners at all, more of a curvy straight. There we go, 6 tenths up on the time. There's nothing else we can do other than dump our last 2% of battery to cross the line and get into P4. And P4 for me in the car. And something for me is, if you want to hit subscribe if you're new around here, as we head into SQ2. Don't know what I was thinking when I was saying that, but here we go. Again, we've already done another lap in SQ2 prior to this, but I'm showing you this one, which is the final lap of SQ2. We gain, again, a nice chunk of time through the center S's to start off the lap here. The run down to turn 4, braking just before the 100-meter board on the right-hand side. Tip the car in nicely. Try not to run out too far wide because you can unsettle the car on the curb. We've picked up almost 3 tenths through the first sector, which is purple. First sector, actually. We're definitely getting more and more used to this track, really pushing the limits, not locking up the tyre on this occasion to start sector 2. And we've got a car up ahead, but it's not close enough to disturb us too much on this run. Again, if you're going to take the curbs, absolutely take the curbs. You don't want to just touch them and risk the car getting a little bit unsettled. You really have to throw your car over them. Even this final corner just there, you could see even the real life race. Saw Verstappen doing it a lot, and even George Russell as well in the Mercedes, really mounting those curbs in the final corner. There we go, almost a half a second improvement in SQ2 to put us into P5. So we're looking pretty competitive here. Not the highest qualification that we've ever done, but up there. We've got the pace. We do have a bit of a higher wing level, again, just to help us through the second sector of the circuit and through the S's here. Obviously it means down the straights as we have a massive moment coming out of the very first corner. Actually, the back end just stepping out a little bit too much for my liking, and somehow we managed to keep it on the track, and somehow it's a green sector 1, probably because this is our first lap in this qualifying session, or sprint qualifying session. As now you can see, times are tumbling. Fastest lap, George Russell, 107, as we go massively deep. Very wide there in sector 2, and this has not been a lap to remember at all, with our mistake in turn 1 and then that massive lockup there. I'm not really sure if there's much we can do to salvage a good position here. We do have Pierre Gasly and Hamilton just ahead of us in P9 and P8 respectively. We go massively deep again, and we're going to burn all the battery. We're going to complete the lap because, again, this is our first lap of SQ3. Obviously bolting on the softs for this final run in sprint qualifying and across the line to get our position for the sprint, which obviously, as I mentioned before, we're at Sao Paulo. It's a great circuit. We saw a lot of crazy crashes in the real life Formula 1. Let's hope it's nothing as crazy for us this afternoon. Again, a little bit cloudy, the weather kind of resembling that in the real Grand Prix. But a nice track here, 4.3 kilometers, 2.6 miles and 15 turns. There's 2 DRS zones, one along the pitch straight and one on the run down to turn 4, which is going to be a pretty hot overtaking spot. You can get close down the pitch straight and then dive down the inside or around the outside if you're brave enough and into turn 4 and to finish off sector 1. Now we're going to run through the starting grid. We don't know where we finished just yet from SQ3, but on the front row, George Russell takes the sprint pole with Max Verstappen lining up alongside him. Some very good laps indeed throughout qualifying. Sainz in third, followed by Norris and Leclerc in P5. Alonso and Piastri 6 and 7, Hamilton followed by Gasly and ourselves in P10. Bit of a blow, but Perez crucially behind us. Bottas in 12th and Ocon 13th. Stroll 14th, followed by Albon, Porsche, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Magnussen in 20th. Sargent actually getting up to P21 instead of claiming the wooden spoon early. And Zhou Guanyu in P22. That did rhyme. But now we're down on the grid, ready for this sprint. And I think mediums is the way to go here. I didn't see, if you look at the right top of the screen, there's a weather radar there that says that there's rain towards the end of the race. I did not see that at the time. And when I came onto the start of the race, with all the lights that are on, and now they're out as we go racing against everybody else who's on the soft tyres. Not a bad getaway. Perez does absolutely destroy us, though, in the start phase. We send it a little bit too hard down the inside of the McLaren of Oscar Piastri. Then now we're side by side with Pierre Gasly, who did extremely well to get into Q3, or SQ3, rather. But now with a bit of battery and a little bit of elbows, we kind of claim a couple of positions off the start, which is kind of surprising. And we just muscled out the McLaren and the Alpine into turn 1/turn 2. Now, we've got Hamilton up ahead. There's a couple of fast cars just ahead of us here, and they're on soft, so we've got a real challenge to try and stay with them here, but I'm hoping and praying that their tyres are going to die towards the end of the sprint. We have 8 laps ahead of us, so some good practice ahead of qualifying for the Grand Prix later, as well as the Grand Prix itself. And Pierre Gasly's looking a little bit close actually to us here. He has the DRS. I do not have DRS, and he goes sliding around the outside with the help of that drag reduction system. We've just got to try and sit in behind for now. We do have Oscar Piastri to keep us warm in this P8 and P10 sandwich that we find ourselves in. And now with a bit of the DRS, we're going to have our own back, give Gasly some of his own medicine and overtake into the first corner. And the rain is here already. We're on lap 7. Again, there's a lot of just trying to stay on the back of people in this sprint on our mediums. And again, a bit of battery usage. They haven't disabled DRS just yet, courtesy of the FIA's ruling. It's not quite wet enough, but it is going to be getting slightly greasy on the racing line and especially off the racing line as well. Soft compound tyres do really help in the wet compared to any of the harder compounds, purely because you've got the extra grip, the extra stickiness of the tyres to really help you find any grip that there is. There's a yellow flag at turn 1. There's a Haas that seems to have dropped it in the first part of the Senna S's here in Brazil. But yeah, rain has come a little bit too late for us to do anything about it, and the tyres again didn't go off on the softs as quickly as I thought they would. We lost touch with the front runners and have been defending ever since. We did get overtaken by Pierre Gasly. As you can see, the car is just wanting to step out, wanting to lose traction as we're going through sector 2 just now. Hopefully we can keep it on the island, keep it on the track within the white lines before the end of the race, and hopefully we'll keep Oscar Piastri behind us too as we go a little bit deep there and under traction, a little bit of a wiggle too, just for good measure. We've got plenty of battery though, and as Carlos Sainz takes victory, we've secured 1 point in the sprint.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That was a bit of a hectic race. If you like hectic races and you're new and you haven't subscribed, there's 70% of you, well 75% that haven't. So if you want to do it, just click the button. But there we go. Got that housekeeping self-promotion out of the way, and we're into the official qualifying. It was a good race, some good performance in there. We were again fighting an uphill battle against everybody else on the soft compound tyres. I should have winged it a bit, but it said the medium strategy was faster. I'm not sure if that is really true at this point in time. But overall, getting more and more used to the track, getting a bit faster, a little bit of a wiggle over that curve, so just be careful if you're racing around Brazil yourself, not to send the car spinning out around that high-speed left-hander just after turn 4. Yeah, pretty decent lap so far. We've kind of kept it together, kept hitting our apexes, not locking up too badly, although we did have a couple earlier in the lap. And yeah, just as we run down towards the end of Sector 2, again, try and keep the car in one piece. Try not to run too wide, because that can really hurt your lap time. You want to hit that inside curb heavily, and yeah, just keep the shortest run to the line as possible, using all of the battery, even a little nudge of the wall, and that's a P7 for us in Q1. Into Q2, thanks to that P7, things are going to get a little bit spicier as we need to breach into the top 10 again, as we did in sprint qualifying. But now we have to do it for the main event, the Sunday race, where hopefully we'll get more than 1 point. But it does come down to qualifying itself. Now, 3/10 up on this lap. Purple Sector 1 as Carlos Sainz goes fastest with a 1:07 as we have a massive snap. Again, just coming out of the exit of turn 4 there, we just lost the rear end slightly. I think we might be running the car a little bit too firm for my own particular style of driving, which to be honest is put your foot on the loud pedal and hope for the best. But here we go, we've actually got still 3.5, 4/10 almost in hand on this lap, which is still looking pretty good. We are losing time hand over fist. We're in P12 currently, as this is a green Sector 2 as well somehow. 3/10 again. We do have a little bit of time to make up potentially, as we're looking to get ahead of Sergio Perez there, who's currently occupying the top spot as we cross the line. And do we make it into Q3? We do, just with a P9. It's a pretty good showing, but again, a few mistakes there is not going to cut it in Q3. And speaking of Q3, this is our lap. We've got 25 seconds left of qualifying. We've got our lap to complete, and we already have gone a bit deep and a bit wide. It's not an ideal way of starting your final flying lap in qualifying, but we've got it all to do in Sector 2. I'm rhyming a lot today. I don't know what it is, but maybe I'm just excited for this race. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not, because we're 3/10 down on our time. But we did probably make a few mistakes around here. As you can tell, we've gained another 0.5 there, another 0.5 here. 0.5 everywhere. We're almost back on our delta time, as there we go. We breached the green and the delta in the top right. You can just see it there. We're losing a little bit of time here though. We're maybe not using the batteries we potentially did on our lap before this. It's all about the exit now, and there's not much more we can do than that. We do have a little bit of battery left to burn, but I think we're not going to improve. Looks like we're going to come home in P6, but we're going to cross the line and start our crofty commentary here in the commentary box, also known as my chair in my little office here. A bit sunnier of a day today compared to yesterday's sprint, so hopefully there's no rain on the horizon, and if there is, hopefully I can work well with the team to bring us home a good result if the rain shakes things up. But again, we've got 2 DRS zones, 15 turns to make up the difference. We are going to have a decent position on the grid today, obviously getting successfully into Q3 there. Now, people struggle to win from pole around Brazil purely because it's a great track for overtaking. But let's have a look and see who got on pole and who might be taking away the victory from them today. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, an all Ferrari front row here in Sao Paulo, and it's a very good showing from the Ferrari outfit there, just to lock out the front row. Verstappen and Alonso were following on very closely indeed, followed by Hamilton and ourselves in P6. Much better yesterday for us. Norris, Stroll, then Piastri and Russell rounds out the top 10, with Sergio Perez in P11, who we successfully knocked out of Q3. Albon, Ocon, Tsunoda, Magnussen and Bottas follow them though, and Pourchaire, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Zhou, Ricciardo and Sargent with the wooden spoon were all knocked out in Q1. But let's get down to the track. No wise words from Mark this time around. Thinking medium hard, give ourselves some mediums, and then give ourselves some hards. Again, I don't think the softs are going to be that good just because of the tyre degradation. I still think it would have kicked in the sprint, but it just didn't come quick enough for us to really maximize anything on the mediums, especially by the time the race came. But hard medium is the strategy. We're on the grid, ready for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. All the lights are on now, they're out straight away. A very short hold there. Everybody around us is on the soft tyre though, which is very concerning early in the races. We've got Norris looking around the outside. We're going to close that door nice and easily there. And thankfully, there's a little bit of a battle up ahead for what looks like P2 as the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc is breaking away massively at the front of the field. And hopefully we'll be able to stick with these guys. We've got Carlos Sainz on the mediums as well. So a bit of a mixed grid actually. We're going to go round the outside of Lewis Hamilton here on the double right-hander. He's on the softs. He can definitely carry more speed than us. And that shows there as we actually touch the rear end of that Mercedes a little bit heavily, and we actually lose the back end too and get all out of sorts, trying to get these tyres up to temperature and stay in contention with the softs. We've not settled into a rhythm, as you can tell, as we're going wide, we're going deep, we're locking up everywhere. We just need to settle down here and just dial it back a little bit, try not to push too hard and overdrive the car. We just need to settle in to a rhythm. We're going to have DRS on Hamilton. In the next few straights, we have plenty of opportunity to do what we need to do and just stick with these soft runners here. Another lockup actually. We're on lap 5 right now, but a little lockup there, potentially just trying to get a good exit and see if we can maximize some overtaking opportunities, basically. Just get a good run on Hamilton is all we really need. Again, braking a little bit cautiously. I don't really want to run into the back of Hamilton as we did before and damage our front wing. That would completely ruin our races. Look at the speed we can carry during the first part of that corner. And our engine's blown up. You can see in the bottom right it's red. It was red on the MFD. We're retiring due to a mechanical failure, which is not what we were expecting. This is almost a brand new engine in the back of this Guido Andretti F1 team car. It's a mouthful. We're just going to have to find a safe place to pull over here, just next to this Marshall. Here he's got his shorts on ready to tackle the day. But we're out of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. 22nd on the grid thanks to a mechanical failure. That's not the result we wanted.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Indeed, a very good job by Ferrari today. Their car didn't blow up, along with Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen on the podium. It was a good race, probably. I didn't see it. I was crying in my helmet. And, yeah, very frustrating mechanical failure, but it's the first one of the season. We've done well to not have one so far. And, yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen any more this season. We've not got too many races left.
Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
We will definitely join you for more Crofty. And yeah, that's the race weekend. Obviously, sprint 1 point, race no points. But Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Piastri, Norris, Stroll, Perez, Gasly, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Zhou Guanyu, Nico Hülkenberg, Albon, Bottas, Pourchaire, Sargent, and then ourselves. It's been a long time since both of our cars have been at the back, and up at the sharp end we've got Verstappen, very similar to real life actually, leading the way as we're very comfortably in P10 in the drivers' standings. Looking at the constructors, Ferrari taking a bit more of a lead of Red Bull, and McLaren sitting in behind. Again, very similar to real life, surprising. And we're sitting pretty in P6. Still doing okay. Our race wins that we've had in the past few races have done us well. We need to make sure we don't have more mechanical failures. But if you're new around here and you want to subscribe to see more and see what happens next week, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed, leave a like. And that is literally it from me. I'll see you all next week for the Las Vegas Grand Prix.